Here we go now.
Welcome once again to the Solo Promoter Podcast. This is the show that is one guy talking about tabletop pro wrestling and fighting games completely solo. This includes Filsinger Games, Legends of Wrestling, Champions of the Galaxy, Go Fight Pow, Squared Circle, and much, much more. Welcome to the show. I am that one guy. My name is Grant Pachoco, and this is episode number 109. Before we get going, I want to send a special thank you out to all the members of the Golden Circle. If you want to know more about the Golden Circle, you can head on over to solopromoter.com on your desktop computer and then click the button that says join. Basically, these are the fine folks who have pledged to give a little bit every month to keep the videos on the channel and this podcast going. And it's a huge thanks to them for allowing that to happen. They also get to see a video of the behind the scenes of the recording of this episode, and I talk a little bit before I start recording, and sometimes I talk after. So I really thank them for their support. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Solopromoter.com and click the join button. Well, let's get on to a few updates before we get to the main subject. There's not a ton of updates. The new stuff from Filsinger Games is here. It's great. I'm looking forward to playing with it more, especially Legends, which I feel I've been neglecting due to Champions of the Galaxy, which I will discuss in the main topic of the show. But all the stuff arrived in good shape, which I was much relieved about. And yeah, I'm super excited to get rolling on the new stuff because I think there is a lot of really, really good stuff that is in these winter releases. That being said, the next episode will be my top 5 wrestling game releases of 2025. Now, I am one of those weirdos that doesn't do their best of list for the year until the year is officially over, because I'm recording this on December 29th, 2025, and who knows what could happen on the 30th or 31st. Tom could surprise us with a brand new set, so I don't want to commit to ink or to audio my top 5 releases of the year, or Go Fight Pow might release something, or Squared Circle, or etc., etc., etc. I don't want to commit to that until the year is officially over. So the next episode will be my top 5. I will tell you that I've already started making my list of my top 5 releases, and unless something major happens, it probably should be the list, but anyway, you can expect that episode shortly after the first of the year. So let's get into our main topic. The main topic is my personal top 4 hopes for things we see from Filsinger Games in 2026. As 2025 wraps up and we're on the cusp of a brand new year, I thought I'd share my top 4 hopes for things that we might see from Filsinger Games in 2026. Now, I originally was going to do a top 5, but honestly, when I sat down and I really thought about it, I could only come up with 4 that really, really mattered to me. Before I get into the list, I do want to say, and I want to be very clear about this, this is not a list of complaints. I mean, mostly. You know, everyone listening to this knows how much I love Filsinger Games. I've said many times that Filsinger Games, the games from Filsinger Games, is my main hobby. I play Champions of the Galaxy and Legends of Wrestling at least once a week, if not more. So there should be absolutely no doubt that I'm a huge fan of the game and the company and the people behind it. These are simply the things that I would love to see and that I hope we will see in the new year. Here we go. Number 4, and this one's going to be interesting to hear people's reaction, and I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more in podcasts that going forward. I hope in 2026 that we do not see Filsinger Games cards with AI art. I'll just say it. I am over AI art. Now, to be clear, we don't know for sure that Filsinger Games has used AI-generated art on their cards. There's been some speculation that maybe certain backgrounds on a few cards were AI-generated, but that's never been confirmed, and I hope, sincerely hope, that if that did happen, it never goes past that. Like, that's it. And here's what I mean. Play Games recently released some of their face-to-the-mat wrestling cards that were fully AI generated, the artwork on them. And to me, they look incredibly generic, like most AI art does. Now, one of the things I truly value about the Filsinger Games community is the artists. Daryl Banks, Werner Meek, Tom Rickert. These artists are admired and respected and a part of the identity of the game. Using AI art would feel like a huge insult to that legacy. But then there's also the practical side. You cannot copyright AI art. Anything produced via AI can be legally reused by anyone for anything. So that alone should be reason enough that I hope Filsinger Games would avoid it. And honestly, AI art just really makes everything look the same. It's bland, it's lifeless, and I'll take the infamous bruting artwork from Champions of the Galaxy Promoter Prime 2025 over AI-generated art any day of the week. Yes, AI art can be fun to play around with. I have done it. There is AI artwork at solopromoter.com. I am in the process of going through and removing those. I've used them mostly for thumbnails. I've also used it on gwfpromoter.com for like the little images for the cards that I've run. I'm going through the process. It's going to take time going through and removing all of those because I'm just over AI art. At this point, it's everywhere. It all looks the same, and none of it feels special anymore. So my hope for 2026 is that, number 4 hope, is that Filsinger Games just says no to AI art. Number 3, here's what I'm hoping for Champions of the Galaxy. I would like a smaller roster. I'm really enjoying Myth Worlds, but the roster is just too damn big. To get what I feel are meaningful win-loss records with a roster that size, you need to run something like 100 cards with 10 matches per card, and that's just not realistic for me or, I assume, other players. Maybe it's not. Maybe if you can do that, more power to you. What I'm hoping for is a dramatic roster reduction in the next Champions of the Galaxy edition. Now, here's what I'm thinking. With 2026 being the 40th anniversary of Champions of the Galaxy, I would love to see the timeline move from Myth Worlds back to 2140. There's a nice symmetry there. 2140, 40 years. Myth Worlds can spin off and be its own thing, but for the anniversary, I'd like to see the GWF strip back to its basics with a tighter, more manageable roster. Since Galacticon, I have been playing almost exclusively Champions of the Galaxy on my tabletop because I feel this internal pressure to give everyone on the official roster a fair shake. If the roster was smaller, I'd probably be done already and moving on to my Legends feds. And honestly, this is why I stopped playing the original GWF around 2100 and jumped ahead to 2119 back in the day because the roster was smaller and it just played better for me. So my number 3 hope, I really, really hope this, is that the roster is smaller for the next game edition of Champions of the Galaxy. Here we go. Number 2. My number 2 hope for Filsinger Games in 2026 is no more rubber bands. Rubber bands around the cards are damaging them during shipping, period. Color cards wrapped in rubber bands get compressed in the mail, and as they shift, the rubber band rubs against the card surface, leaving visible marks and damaging the artwork. Now, I know during the holiday kickoff, Tom mentioned that this rubber band issue only affects a small number of people. That may be true, but privately, I've heard from a lot of folks who have had cards damaged this way. Now, to Filsinger Games' credit, they have been very kind about shipping my orders without rubber bands when I asked, and the difference is noticeable, and I really, really appreciate that. But my hope is that rubber bands just become a thing of the past so they don't even have to honor special requests anymore, because there won't be rubber bands at all. And if you've had cards damaged by rubber bands, I'd encourage you to politely reach out to Filsinger Games and let them know. If enough people speak up, maybe it will lead to a change. All right, here we go. My number one hope for Filsinger Games in 2026. And I bet most of you will be able to say this right along with me. In 2026, my biggest hope for Filsinger Games is the debut of upgraded packaging. There we go. Upgraded packaging. This is a hill I will absolutely die on. None of the other game companies I order from, like Play Games, Go Fight Pow, Squared Circle, Free League Games for the non-wrestling games, etc., have had the same chronic issues with orders arriving damaged through the mail. In the past, Filsinger Games has occasionally offered upgraded packaging for things like con exclusives or Promoter Prime, but it's inconsistent, and I don't understand why it's inconsistent. Make it all, or I guess, well, it is nothing right now. In 2026, I really hope we see a permanent solution put into place, something that gets cards to customers in near mint condition on a consistent basis. We were told to be patient while the new shipper learned the ropes. Hopefully that learning period happened over the holidays, and now the focus can shift towards improving how orders are protected during shipping. And there you go. My top 4 hopes for Filsinger Games in 2026. No AI art, a smaller Champions of the Galaxy roster, no rubber bands used in shipping, and upgraded packaging. I would love to know, do you agree or disagree with my thoughts on this? Or do you have completely different hopes that I haven't thought of and could have done a top 10 list about? Add them to the comments wherever you have heard this episode. And that's going to do it for this episode. If you have a topic you'd like the show to cover, leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe or follow wherever you're listening to this. You can check out my personal Champions of the Galaxy fed at gwfpromoter.com and my Legends feds at lowpromoter.com. Thanks again to the Golden Circle channel members. Again, visit solopromoter.com and click the join button to find out more. The theme song is American Guy by Throwing Toasters, used by permission and available on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you get your music. This podcast is not affiliated in any way with any gaming company or their subsidiaries. It's purely for entertainment purposes. This episode is copyright 2025 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Pachoco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com.